World, we are back with another edition of Lead Through Sport, the podcast, aka Spotlight Thursdays. I'm your host, T. Scotty, and today we have my literal brother from another mother, Joe Gilliam. How you feeling, boy?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Glad to be up here.
Yes, sir, man. Good to see you, man. You know, I just seen you this weekend, but good to see you again. You know, it's always
Always.
love. So, Lead Through Sport is a platform that spotlights former and current athletes, entrepreneurs, and creatives on their journey to success, providing people with knowledge nuggets for life. And of course, I had to bring somebody like you on because you're very thorough and knowledgeable about, all of those aspects. So, who better than you, man? You know.
I appreciate it, bro.
Absolutely. So, couple icebreakers, man. Give us your age, hometown, playing background, and a fun fact.
Jordan Gilliam, 27 years old, from Hampton, Virginia. Said playing back. I played at HRA, Menchville, and Norfolk Christian.
Education background too.
Education. I went to UVA for undergrad and University of Kentucky College of Law.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's J. David Rosenberg College of Law now, to get that right.
And fun fact, you don't answer that fun fact. I'm answering that today because I got a DM from a guy named Coach Harbison.
Now,
no.
That's the fact. That's the fun fact I was going to give. So
all right, go ahead. You go ahead. You got it, yo. You got it. Because I didn't even know this.
I have my junior black belt in karate. Shout outs to Brian Hobson, great instructor. The greatest, if you ask me. And I was honored to learn under him. And that's the fun fact I always give. So I'm glad that he knows that.
Why you hold that from us though, man?
I don't know, man.
He said you was nice too, and he said you was about to be a junior black belt before you started hooping.
I got my junior black belt, and then I picked up basketball and kinda. I never looked back, which I regret now. But it was some fun times. My sister, she was also pretty nice. We got a little newspaper article.
Yeah, he mentioned her too. He mentioned her too. That's tough, man. That's tough. So let's hop right in it, man. You're an associate attorney. What law firm do you work for?
Stites and Harbison. It's a medium-sized firm in Lexington, Kentucky. We have offices in Lexington, Louisville, Covington, Kentucky, Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm trying to think, Jeffersonville, Indiana, and one in, I know it's in Northern Virginia. I think it's in Alexandria. I think that's Nashville and Memphis.
Got you. So tell us a little bit about what you do on a day-to-day basis. What goes on?
Yeah, my practice is mostly real estate. I do a little bit of construction here and there, a little bit of trust in estates, so working with wills and things like that. But mainly it's real estate, and day to day it's like reviewing leases, loan documents for commercial projects, drafting and negotiating those same documents. And I don't have to go in court.
Yeah. I feel that. So can you break down, give us a field day of work for you on a Monday? Give us a Monday.
I hate Mondays.
I know, that's why I asked.
No, it's get into the office, kind of sort through emails. Clients are always wanting to. One of the most important things about being an attorney or in any job, any profession, is being responsive. So sort through emails, and then I check what's on my schedule in the sense of I may have a meeting. I know I meet with the construction group here and there. Real estate, we have meetings either weekly or monthly. And then after that, it's kind of just tap into what projects I have on my desk. Like today, pretty much today was a lot of loan document review and drafting amendments for loans. And I think what else did I work on today? A construction project, reviewing a construction contract. So, it's pretty much that on a day-to-day basis. It's really, the fun part is talking to clients, especially when those clients are happy. So that's pretty much it.
I got you. So you do a lot of drafting and, reading contracts and stuff like that, as you just mentioned. And for somebody that's, watching and wants to go in law, can you explain how, I'm not going to say how hard it is, but can you explain how can I say this? The brain power you have to just review documents and draft and look over contracts all day?
It's a lot.
How is that for you?
It's a lot. And one thing is I was an English major, so I like to read. But, when you're just constantly reviewing documents all day, it's actually very tiring. And it's funny because I always told my sister, she worked for a while. She worked in she's an engineer welder. And so she had a desk job, and she had a job where she was actually out in the field doing estimates, you know, building rails. And she always said that desk job, I would go home way more tired because you're literally just thinking all day of what this means for that contract, how that can impact your client. And it's actually way more tiring than you would think sitting at the desk all day.
I bet. No, I definitely bet. So you're in this position now, but before you got to this position, you had some challenges that you had to overcome to become an associate attorney.
Sure.
Please talk to us about, you know, some of those challenges.
The biggest one that comes to mind is bar exam. That was.
And before you explain, I'll never forget those moments. What year was that? 2017?
That would have been. I think it would have been. I started practicing in 2019, so it would have been the summer of 2019.
I remember 2019. Me and the guys didn't hear from you for like months. Like we would hear from you like once every 2 weeks. I was like, yo, what is Gills doing? But like once I see all the work that you do and like, you know, that sacrifice really has to take place in order to get to where you are. But explain that.
Yeah, it was tough. The bar, I mean, it was basically 3 hard months of my 9 to 5 was studying. And, you know, I would take my lunch break and it would be study from, I would wake up at around 7, get to the law school or wherever I was studying at that day, study from 8 to 12, take a little lunch break. And then from 1 to 8 or 9, I'm still studying. And what makes it even harder is there's so much anxiety built up because, you know, this is make or break. This is, I get my license, I don't. You know, for me personally, I was having trouble sleeping, man. Like I was just up all night thinking like, what if this doesn't work out? And that was just it was just a really tough time because like I wasn't talking to my family as much. I don't think I've told anybody this story, but it was like I was so busy and so consumed with my studies. I almost forgot my niece and my sister's birthday. Like I was like, I didn't even notice the only dates that I could think of were the last 2 days in July. And that's because that's when the exam is.
That's tough. That was tough.
It was dark.
So like, what would you say the hardest part about that journey was? Was it was it the, you know, missing time with family and friends? Was it, you know, lack of sleep? What was it?
It was a combination of all, but I feel like the most frustrating part to me was, I remember it was 2 weeks before the exam, and they give you practice tests throughout the study process. And it's 2 weeks before the exam, bro. I completely failed a practice test. And I'm like, I've been studying literally all day. How is this information not sticking? And it's like the little tricks that they try to put in those tests, it's crazy, man. So it's like I really started to doubt myself. And that's something that I've always, my mom, dad, sister always tried to, you know, enforce, don't ever doubt yourself. You know, the sky's the limit for you. Absolutely. But then that's when I started to question my confidence. And I think that was the biggest hit for me, like putting in so much work and not seeing the results immediately, or even as close as the 2 weeks to the exam.
That sounds very tough. That sounds very tough. So I want to ask you this though, with that much stress on your back, how were you able to keep going? How were you able to, you know, stay passionate about it and be like, yo, I have to get this in order to, you know, become what I want to become?
For me, I took it as, you know, this is it. I mean, I know you have multiple opportunities to take the bar if you don't pass it. But for me, it was like, in my mind, and I don't know if this is true, I haven't talked to the firm about it because fortunately I didn't have to. But I mean, for me, it's like if I don't pass this exam, I lose a good job opportunity, and losing a good job opportunity, that's losing mentorship from amazing attorneys, you know, a bunch of different opportunities that I could have. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. So, I mean, there were nights where I would be like, man, I need to go to sleep. And I'm like, but I'm not where I need to be. And I would stay up and study from like 1 to 6. I would take a little nap from 9 to 12, study from 1 to 6, take another little nap and hit the library. So it's just that drive of knowing like my whole future depends on this. Everything that I've ever worked for, you know, it depends on this exam. And so
Absolutely.
that was the, you have to find your drive, and that was it for me.
That's facts. And for anybody watching this, whatever you do, any sport you are into, whether it's sports or whether it's law, whatever it is, you have to find your drive and you have to act like your life depends on it. Because if you don't, man, you'll crack every time. And it's great that you had that kind of mindset.
Yeah, and I mean, I laugh these days. I tell myself, man, I wish I had that same drive for basketball. I love basketball, but that same drive wasn't there for me. And I was like, I mean, I look back at it now, and it's like, I miss basketball, but I love what I do every day. I love what I do on a day-to-day basis, and I found it.
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely,
it works out.
I feel that. So before I get into this next part, I want to mention that you are a part of the National Black Lawyers 40 Under 40 list. That's tough, man. Everybody that's watching, give my man's a clap. Give my man's a good clap. That's tough. How did you feel when you got that call or that email?
I was in disbelief. They sent the letter, and they actually sent it to our Louisville office. It got sent to me from there, and I opened it, and I'm like, man, this can't be real. So I call one of the partners in Louisville, and I'm like, hey, well, for my Kentucky people watching Louisville, I call one of the partners, and I'm like, hey, have you ever heard of this program? He was like, yeah, it sounds like, sounds legit. And then we call our the head of our marketing department, and she's like, yeah, this is something we definitely want to pursue. This is a great honor. And then, from there it was just like wait for the story to drop, because I'm, I worked hard for it, and I was honored, and it's very humbling to be part of a group of great attorneys. I know I've actually have a couple of good friends that also got recognized. I think you met my Evan Tucker. He got recognized in Richmond.
Salute, Ev.
So it was humbling, man. There's a lot of great attorneys, and I've had the opportunity to talk to some. It's been very great experience.
You deserve that, man. Like you real, like, for real. And I'm not just saying this because you're my friend, but like best friend, but you really deserve that because you mad humble. You don't bother nobody. You just go to work, come back, and just chill with the family, man. You really deserve that, yo. Salute to you, for real.
I appreciate it, man. And like I said, it's a great group of attorneys. So if you ever need an attorney or you're looking for an African American attorney, I know sometimes I get calls from specific clients because we're like, hey, we're specifically looking for a Black attorney. You want to make sure that somebody, has our interest. It's a great site. You can just go to their website, click your state, and find what you want to find. So
that's real. Yeah. Get with them.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, who inspired you to get in law?
Honestly, my dad's a welder, but he's the one that inspired me to get into it. I remember, I forgot what the meeting was for, but he had a meeting at Minchville. While I was going there, and I remember the assistant principal coming up to me and said, I don't know what it is. Your dad should have been an attorney. Yeah. Some of the things that I see in my dad and his ability to talk through things and, work things out for himself in his business, that kind of had an impact on me in making that decision to be able to, because at first coming into law school, I thought I'm going to have to be in front of a courtroom. We'll have to be in the courtroom in front of a judge. So I'm thinking, I have to be able to talk my way through things, think my way through things and on the fly. And, that's something I feel like I picked up from him. And even though I don't, that's not my practice. I'm honored to, have picked that up from him.
Salute, Pop, man. Salute, Pop. Yeah. Big salute to Pop. So you were a part of the diversity committee and the Black Law Student Association when you were in college, correct?
It was, in law school. Yeah.
In law school. What have you learned from those programs that help you out today in law?
Well, first, the most important thing is the need for diversity in this field. It's, we don't have a lot of Black attorneys. And even though we have lists like the top 40 under 40, I think for the top 40 under 40, there's also a top 100 national Black lawyers. But even with that, there's still not a lot of attorneys to practice, and especially here in Kentucky. So for one, the thing for me was getting more people involved, trying to get more people to go to law school, making sure they're happy in law school, making sure they have the resources that they need. And then when they get into their practice, also making sure they have the resources they need. And, fortunately for me, I've also worked with a couple other local groups here, the John Rowe chapter of the I think it's the National Black Lawyers Association. I think I forgot the exact name, but I know it's the John Roe chapter. They it was a group of attorneys that kind of had our back when we were in law school, and so just making sure I give that back to the future attorneys that we have, and making sure that they need what they have the resources they need to succeed in their practice, and they can impact the future.
Absolutely, giving back. I love it, man. I love it. Yeah. So we're gonna move on. I have a new segment for you guys. It's called W2s. So now,
I'm looking forward to this one.
So, guys, I'm going to give you 2 scenarios, and you have to pick one, which is the which, and then you have to explain why you chose that scenario. All right. So, first one: would you rather have your own law firm or be a judge in court?
I have my own law firm.
Why?
I've been fortunate enough to work on some projects where, I get to see the excitement that it brings my client, and that feeling, it's hard to beat that feeling. Once somebody closes on their house, we work on some projects where we do affordable housing for, and when it comes to building affordable housing, it mostly impacts the African-American community and Latino community. And so, I just had one of those, and just to see the joy on that person's face, you can't beat that, man.
I like that. All right. Which school do you prefer when it comes to all aspects, when it comes to environment, the state, everything? When you got to take everything into consideration, UVA or Kentucky? Take everything into consideration, where you're going to live, professors, and you've seen both sides. So what would you prefer if you went back to school?
Man, I hope none of my professors.
Gills said he got love for y'all, but he got to choose one.
It would be UVA for sure.
UVA. Why?
It's on home state, man.
Home state. Salute VA. Salute.
No, I feel like UVA prepared me the most for the next steps in life. I had professors that most recently I reached out to over the summer because of the impact they had on me. And I had same impact with law professors that I've had here. But, that's pretty much where it started. And if it wasn't for, my experiences that I had there and some of the things that I learned there, I don't think I would be at the point to have met the professors at Kentucky.
Facts.
The foundation. I'm going to give it to the foundation.
I ain't mad at that. All right. So it's holiday season. All right. All your family's in town, right? We got to come up with a great dish. Like, we got to come up with the Christmas dish. And we're taking your dad out of the equation because we know how he get on that. We know how he get. Whose side of the family are you taking to make that dish? Your mom's side or your dad's side?
Oh, man. Whew.
They watching.
If we're taking my dad out of the equation, I'm gonna go my mom's side.
Mom's side.
Only because
they all can cook, by the way. I ain't dissing nobody. They all can cook. But why?
But when I come home, my aunt has one dish that she makes for me. She made me a bowl about that big. Red beans and rice. Shout outs to Aunt Kim.
Shout out Aunt Kim, man.
She made that red beans and rice. She makes the red beans and rice every time I come. Every time if I'm in Virginia, a bowl of red beans and rice is coming my way.
I like that.
Mac and cheese. She got that on lock. Plus, my sister, she can cook that. She counts for both sides. So.
Yeah. I feel
I eat more of my mom's side if my dad's not involved. So
that makes sense. All right. Where are we gonna go? Which scenario would hurt more? The Ravens winning back-to-back Super Bowls, or the Steelers being under 500 for 5 straight seasons?
Which would hurt more?
Yeah.
Ravens winning back-to-back Super Bowls. If we're under 500, we're getting draft picks.
That's true. That's a good why.
We're getting draft picks, man.
That's a good why.
I think we're heading in that direction, unfortunately. We got swept by the Bengals this season, bro.
Yeah, and Big Ben.
They're good.
Bengals, they're good.
But no, that don't happen.
Big Ben got to go.
Yeah.
He got to go. Last one. if you are deep into your feelings one night and you need one old school R&B album to match your vibe, which album are you going with and why?
What album?
Old school.
When you say old school, like 90s or before 90s? I know
Nothing past 90s. Nothing past 90s.
Nothing past the 90s. I'd probably go Usher, My Way.
Okay.
I was one of the that was one of the first albums that I think my grandma bought me.
Mm-hmm.
And so that, that's one that has sentimental value, and it was a solid album. Had a couple hits up there. So
okay, that's your why.
Yeah.
Okay.
That he has a vibe for on that album. He has a song for pretty much every vibe you need if you're in your feelings. So
yeah,
and he also has songs up there to get you out your feelings too.
Facts. Salute Usher, man. All right, so tell us about you played sports in high school. Tell us about your love for sports, man. And before we do that, didn't you have an opportunity to play college basketball?
I did. I had some interest from Washington and Lee when I was my senior year. I remember opening season, and my coach always kept telling me, "Hey, Washington and Lee keeps calling for you."
Mm-hmm.
But I always loved basketball. I grew up. I didn't start playing organized until I was like 11 or 12. But growing up, I always loved basketball. I loved all sports. I mean, my dad's friends, when they would come around, they would ask me. I watched ESPN so much, they would ask me for the scores.
Yeah.
So I just growing up around them. My dad, he played sports, but my uncle Mike, he was really good at basketball. He played at Mitchville back in the day with Mr. Saunders around that era.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was in the family, and I picked basketball. Basketball always, coming from the area, it's basketball and football.
Mm-hmm.
Iverson,
football is basketball, football or die.
for me, it was Iverson. Iverson, we all wanted to be him at one point.
Absolutely.
So, I chose basketball. I was fortunate enough to play varsity all 4 years. Like I said, I had the opportunity to go, and that was probably my biggest sacrifice. Instead of pursuing basketball, I decided to go to UVA and try to pursue. At that time, I didn't know I wanted to be a lawyer, but I had ideas of it, but I wasn't 100% sure. Mm-hmm. So I decided to chase that dream instead, and that's the biggest sacrifice I've ever had. I play intramural every year since because I miss basketball so much.
Facts. You be sending this stuff all the time. That's funny. So, what's the main component of sports that you carry into everyday business?
For me, in my position, the position that I'm in right now, I would say, because when we play basketball, we play AAU, we play high school, rec league. So, I had a number of different coaches at any time. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how it is now. Like I work, like I said, my main practice is real estate. So I have the three or four attorneys that I report to for real estate. But I'm also involved in some commercial, other commercial transactions like mergers between companies. I'm involved in construction. Like I said, some wills and trust in estate. So for me, it was just the thing that I took the most is, learning how to adapt to different leaders. I'm not right now. I'm not in a position where I'm running the show. Mm-hmm. So, I was fortunate enough to have some great coaches, but they each had their different styles. Coach Artist, Coach Shields, Coach Katufis, Coach Dennis, rest in peace. I was fortunate enough, and I would say it translates to where I'm at now. I have great mentors, but every person has their own style. And, it's just trying to adapt to what each person wants and knowing that my role here isn't going to be my role here. And so for me, that's the biggest thing right now.
I like that. I love that. Adaptation, you have to adapt wherever you go, like in anything you do in life.
Yeah. I forgot Coach Daniel too. I didn't mention Coach Daniel.
Facts. Salute Coach D, man. So, Gills, what's next for you, man? After, right now, pretty sure you won't be an associate attorney for forever. So what's next for you? What are you looking to do next?
For me, that the partner track, that's on my mind. It's just increasing my workload, increasing my knowledge so I can, naked there. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's a big thing to be a partner at a firm, and I'm at one of the, like I said, to me, it's the best firm in Kentucky. So
Absolutely.
You know, it's just trying to make it. You know, it's a few more years. I think it's 7 years total. I'm in my 3rd year, so it's around 4 more years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, you know, working hard to attain all the knowledge I can, and you know, keep all of that and move forward so I can, you know, become that partner and, you know, start building my own clients, building my own, you know, really, even though you work for the company, you're building your own brand in a way. So build my own brand and, you know, I know we have a sports and entertainment section, try to branch out more into that and, you know, start working with some more of that type of work. And yeah, I think
That's real. That's real.
those are some of my goals that I have.
Mm-hmm. A lot of good things are coming for you in the future, Gil. I just want you to know that. And I believe that everybody, you already know, everybody that's in your corner, like we behind you, we going to push you. We going to be there for you through the ups and downs. And I just want you to keep going, man. We love you though. We love you for real.
Love you too, bro.
Facts. So, and before we get off here, I just want to note that the sport and lead through sport is not just about athletics. It's whatever you're doing now or whatever career you desire to pursue. So always remember that while you're watching these interviews, because you can take something from Gills and apply it to what you do, even though it's not law. You can take something from me, even though you're not a podcast host or you're not a career coach. You can use something from all of us and we can all learn from each other. So y'all remember that as y'all are watching these episodes. All right. Gills, where can we find you at on social media if you want to put it out there?
I think it's J Gilliam on Twitter. I mean, not on Twitter, on Instagram, Jordan Gilliam on Facebook. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you need any legal work, give us a call. You know, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, tap in with him, man. Tap in with him with that legal work, man. Gills, I appreciate you taking the time to, you know, come up here and spit some game, man.
Before we go, I want to just, you know, give you your own shout out. You know, everybody clap for the host. You know, man, it's been amazing seeing, you know, rise to the occasion grow, lead through sport grow. You know, I know you always pitch ideas to us, and it's just amazing to see all of it come to fruition, man. You know, you've been grinding, and you know, that grind is one of the things that keeps me motivated. I'm like, my boy out here doing it. You know, let me keep, you know, the nights that I want to say, hey, man, let me try to get some rest. I could do more, but let me get some rest. I think, nah, Todd's still grinding.
Chill, man. I appreciate it.
Man, but you know, you're doing a lot for not only, you know, building your brand, but a lot for the community. I know I saw that you posted the food drive today. I know you've been speaking at schools, and man, it's just amazing to see what you're doing for the community back home, man. You know, definitely proud of you, man.
I appreciate that, man. And we definitely going to partner in the future. You know,
yeah, we got some ideas. We got some things cooking up.
Yeah, we're gonna do a lot for the community. 757 salute. Gills, man, I appreciate you again, man.
I appreciate you too, bro.
Yes, sir, man. Thank y'all for watching. Y'all go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, you know, do everything to this video. Let's get some views, man. Lead through sport out.
Lead through sport, RTTO.